Liberty City really comes to life at night. During the day, it's crowded, yeah, but not quite the same as the night. Nothing beats sitting on top of a skyscraper, staring down the array of lights blinking and flashing in every direction. Occasionally, you can see a helicopter or plane pass by in the distance. It's also full of life. Who would have thought that just under everyone's feet is the ongoing network of tunnels and subway tracks? The trains run all through the night, from the lighted loading stations into the depths of those damned tunnels. Down in the heart of the trams lies a vast intersection of tracks. This area is also where a couple hundred homeless people flock to escape the cold and police. Most people like to call it Hobo Land. While I've not been down there myself, I've heard stories from people that have. A couple accidents happened, which caused the train to shut down right on the tracks. People were conversed with the homeless people and came back with wild stories of a strange being that apparently lived down in the subway. This man could actually run swiftly, almost in a scurrying fashion, according to several witnesses. The story eventually evolved to where the man was supposed to have excess body hair and the face of a rat, deeming the name Ratman. It made the nightmare subway ride home all the more unnerving. I work on one of those skyscrapers you see at Liberty City. Most of the time, I get off at 9 p.m, just as the nightlife is starting to pick up, but it's almost always dark by then. A few of my co-workers take the subway home at night too, one of whom is actually a close friend. At some point around a year ago, my friend, we'll call him Geordie, was caught up in one of the trams breaking down. Not even 300 yards away was a maintenance entrance for the tram workers, so Geordie told the driver that he would just walk up to the exit and ride a taxi home. While the rest of the riders stayed aboard, Geordie climbed off and started his short hike out of the subway. The only thing that is known after that is that around 4 a.m, police found Geordie walking down the street in a daze. He was covered in an orangish gook with the same texture as blood and stank like feces. It took a couple of weeks for Geordie to even respond, and once he did, he still had no memory of what happened between approximately 10:30 p.m. and 4 a.m. when he was found. I tried to talk to Geordie, since he was a good friend of mine, but he didn't appear to be the same man until at least 3 months later. After that, he returned to work and resumed his life, but still talked noticeably less than before. One day, he and I were alone at lunch hour, and he started to speak again. It was the first time I'd actually seen him speak more than a couple words since the incident. I saw the Ratman, he said, staring into his glass. You saw what? I asked, thinking he was still delusional. Actually, I fought him, Geordie said. He just came running at me, and before I knew it, I was being clawed up. It was mainly just scratches, but just the way he moved. It was so fast. Geordie shuddered. I managed to land one good hit on him and dug my thumbs into his eyes before he started emitting this orange-coloured blood. That was what really got me. The smell was unbearable. I wasn't sure how to react. What happened next? I asked him. He ran off after I got his eye, but I am certain he didn't die, Geordie said, avoiding eye contact. He's still out there somewhere, and I have to finish him off. After that, Geordie became obsessed with this figure living in the subways. He'd often stay up all night riding the trams back and forth, hoping that it would break down. Other times, Geordie would actually take the extreme step of climbing down onto the tracks and following alongside of them into the darkness. Armed with a camera and a knife, he snapped pictures of anything that looked suspicious. I saw Geordie a handful of times after he became so fixated on Ratman. Once I visited his apartment. It was absolutely littered with newspaper clippings, sketches, printed articles, and alleged pictures, all of which supported the cryptid living in the subway. They dangled from his ceiling and covered the floors, walls, and even his bed. Geordie himself looked horrible as well. He rarely showered or shaved anymore, so he stank along with the apartment. I tried to convince him to go get help and try to clean himself up, along with his home, but he refused, and I eventually left, defeated and worried about my friend. A few weeks later, Jordy quit showing up at work. It was just like that. No notice, no excuse. Just complete absence. When my boss tried to phone his house, there was no answer. We all decided it'd be best to visit the apartment again, since he lived alone. When we approached the apartment complex, there was a large group of police officers surrounding the entrance. Apparently, Jordy had wandered off into the black tunnels of the Underground Railway one night and never returned. A full-scale search was started 3 days after he didn't return to his apartment building. The search team ventured towards the heart of the subway, all the way to flocks of homeless people, where they questioned many of them. A few of the more confident hobos reported seeing a troubled man matching Jordy's description. According to them, the man thought to be Jordy was distraught and nearly sprinting towards one of the tunnels. He was holding a flashlight and had it aimed in the direction he was running. After that, nobody saw or heard anything else. After 3 more weeks, the search was closed and Jordy was given up for lost. There was never a body recovered, nor any evidence to suggest any fate for my friend. Since then, I've avoided using the subway. I just can't seem to bring myself to see those tunnels again. However, some of my co-workers still take the trams home at night. The trains still break down at times, and stories still come trailing back from the depths. The homeless people still see a furry figure traversing the dark passageways of the tunnels. However, now there's a new series of sightings. Every so often, it is reported that beams of light sometimes flash past distant tunnels. The description matches almost perfectly with that of a flashlight. Part of me feels that Jordy died that night. He ventured off the train and fought whatever that was down the tunnel. But the other part of me thinks he's still down there. And whatever it is he needs to finish, well, I hope he succeeds. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.